And welcome back to Community Connections. I said it was all about business day, and joining me now is Mark Stafford, owner of Blaze Media. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing good.
It's good to have you.
It's good to be here.
We work partnership on a lot of things, makes my stuff look really nice, and want a professional person to work with you. Mark's a great one, but that's enough of the plug, because what we're going to talk about is he wrote a book so that all of our businesses can take advantage of the great ideas and thoughts and things he does to support and make your business better. Mark, tell us about it.
Well, we took the last couple of years of research at our marketing firm, and we boiled it down to just the basics that most small businesses need. Well, we're finding that some people are having a hard time coming up with a decision-making process. Should I take
Well,
on-
let's tell everybody what the name of the book is,
Oh,
just to give you an
okay.
idea of what we're going to be talking about here.
The book is called The Ultimate Guide for Small Business Digital Marketing. And so we found that people had a hard time coming up with, should I take out an ad in the coupon mailer? Should I take out an ad online somewhere? Do I need to be in a directory? Is my website really important? And how important is it? What should I do with, business cards and my brochures
Everything.
and banners? And they were having a hard time understanding what is important and what's not, what is the primary part of their marketing campaign, what things are the secondary supports for those, and then what really is tertiary, what could kind of come and go and isn't really strategically that important. And so we took all of that we've discovered over working with dozens, if not hundreds of businesses, and we boiled it down to a book that is less than 100 pages. It'll take about 2 hours to read, and we figured that a small business owner could give 2 hours so that their marketing campaign doesn't waste thousands of dollars. We're finding that, 80
Or thousands of hours.
or thousands of hours, right?
Right.
We're finding 80% of what most small businesses are doing isn't working for them. So what if you could only focus on the 20% that historically and traditionally does work like a charm right now in 2021?
Okay, so you wrote this book. Basically, I know you've been working on it for several months, obviously,
Yeah,
probably
yes.
longer than that. At a different time then, has things changed with the pandemic? And did that affect how you looked at the marketing a little bit?
It did change some, and that's why we front-loaded it with digital marketing. So much of what's happening right now is online. Businesses don't totally understand why their website is important. And our opinion is that a website should be central to what you're doing with your marketing efforts. And if it's not, there's really a problem. People don't know where to go. It's a great clearinghouse for information. There's a lot we can say about how important websites are, but in this age right now with the pandemic, websites are absolutely critical. And so if your website hasn't been updated, and if you're not engaged in some form of content marketing, you're really missing out on a huge opportunity for increased sales for your business.
Right. So let's go to marketing a little bit. It is still important for a business to have multimedia marketing and maybe look at some of their target audiences and where they're reaching. But the complete package is what's necessary. And while they think of radio and maybe print advertising easily, they forget their digital.
Right.
You don't utilize it enough, and you haven't in the past, so that's why maybe you need a bigger investment in it now.
Well,
And we're still nuts, because
Right.
most business owners might be like myself or maybe a little younger, but have been in business. There's a lot of tricks now and developments that have come along that make it a whole lot easier.
It does, and it's less expensive than some of those traditional models. And what we found, Marnie, is that there are some people that have been in business for a long time that the only thing they think about is radio and TV and newspaper, because those are the traditional things. Well, that's one crowd. There's another crowd, especially the younger crowd, that all they think about is Facebook and Instagram. Well, what if you put those two things together? Because both things are really effective. What we found, again, this is the research, what we found is that the print advertising and your signage and the traditional kinds of advertising, they really help to establish a sense of permanence for a business, but they're not instant. Digital is to the moment. It's instant, but it feels a little bit temporary. So putting those two things together and having those two things harmonize so that the same campaign that's going out on your print and the same campaign that's going out on your digital, they match one another, they complement one another, and they tend to hub around your website. It's super effective as far as making sure that your entire marketing campaign is exactly what it needs to be. And again, in the book, we talk about how exactly to go about doing that and some of the research that we've done that shows that that really is a super effective method right now.
Right. So if you're going to say the most important thing right now, we're not going to give away, the book is very easy to get. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But the number one digital marketing ultimate tip that you would say right now, what would that be?
The number one digital marketing tip would be to maintain your website on a regular basis. Some people will let a website go for months, sometimes years, without adding any content to it. And every month that goes by that you haven't added anything to your website, you're losing organic search rankings. You have to put something up there at least once a month just to maintain. And what they're finding, get this, is that 11 times a month posting new content to your website isn't too much. That they're seeing really great results when you begin to get up around a dozen changes every month on your website. And so that's the number one tip: maintain your website on a regular basis.
Okay. Just got my big tip. We do it quite often, but
You do.
not that often, but we're a very busy place. How do we get the book to get the rest of the tips?
Well, I always like it when you go to the publisher. That's
Right.
That's at a Warner.house, and it's for sale there. But that's not as accessible as some of the other places. It's on Amazon, it's at Barnes & Noble, and it's at most places where they sell books.
But it's a downloadable book. It's you're not going to go buy it and pick it up and open it up.
No, you need to have an ebook reader, something like a Kindle, and that's why Amazon is so key. You can download it from Amazon, it loads right into your Kindle, and you just go right
Or
from
your
there.
iPad, if you have a notebook or something. I mean, you can download them into your smart notebooks, or even in some cases telephones.
Right.
Our phones are like computers.
They
know?
are, yeah, and so absolutely, you can download it right onto your phone, and so and that comes right from Amazon or Barnes and Noble or wherever else you find it, where books are sold. It's being sold right now.
It's very interesting you mentioned that, because we were talking about that the other day. We were sitting there and, somebody mentioned something, and let me look for that. And just sat there with their phone in the middle of a conversation, Googled it, go to the site, got the information we needed, and we kept on with the conversation. You never had that before. Okay, name of the book again.
The Ultimate Guide for Small Business Digital Marketing.
And Warner?
Warner House Press is who's published it, and it's warner.house is their website.
Mark Stafford, owner of Blaze Media. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to take a look at your book. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back.